Good morning, everyone. Yoala and Bukamindia in Yarrabah language mean hello and welcome. My name is Vista and come with my other two group team, Neha and Siyu. We're presenting our assessment one about the flooding in Yarrabah community, a place where the sea meets the rainforest. Before we start, we respectfully acknowledge peoples on whose lands we are privileged to learn and present this work. We also honor the elders of these nations, past and present. Our presentation will be focusing on flooding in Yarrabah as our emergency scenario, and here is what we'll be covering today. The first one is the introductions to Yarrabah, emergency scenario. We also explore about the inhabitant analysis, theoretical frameworks, and the last one is design solutions directions and design precedents. Before we begin, we want to give the spotlight to the community we've been learning about, so we want to start by letting Yarrabah show itself to you.
The saying in our language, it's called Burigoman, and it simply means one fire. And if you think about that, if we're all sitting around one fire, everybody sits in a circular pattern, which means everyone's side by side. That's what I feel this festival is doing. It follows that principle. We get different artists, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, come through. Yeah, it's just a good time where we can really celebrate music. The proud thing for me in having this festival here on Country is the fact that I can share my culture with the outside world. If you really want to learn about our culture and our ways, this is a perfect chance to really get to see who we are as a people.
Based on videos we've watched, I think this kind of opening matters because it reminds us that design isn't just about solving problems, but is also about respecting their stories. The next one is the history and also all about Yarrabah. A meeting place is the meaning of Yarrabah's name, as a homeland of the Gunganji and Hidinji people. Their belief system is guided by Buleru, and ancestral spirits that shape laws, kinship, and stories for their life and culture. This community also is the Australia's largest discrete Aboriginal community, and for the flood, Yarrabah is classified as a high-risk coastal flood zone, with the major wave events expected every 10 years. The next one is the site locations of Yarrabah. The left side is an Aboriginal map of the Yarrabah area, showing Yarrabah's place in a broader indigenous landscape. And on the right side, we see a more conventional map placing Yarrabah just beside Cairns. And then now we want to talk about how far the Yarrabah from Cairns. Yarrabah is about 53 kilometers long to the regional city of the Cairns, and I assume that isolations and a very far locations is the community vulnerability. After talking about the locations, we want to know more about the people of Yarrabah. Yarrabah has a 90-70% identify as an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, and their median age is 22 years old. And now detected in February 2025, they have about 2,659 permanent residents.
Let's discuss the emergency scenario of Yarrabah. Yarrabah is a low-lying coastal community in Queensland with most residential areas situated less than 5 meters above sea level. This geographical condition makes the area highly vulnerable to storms, cyclonic flooding, and rising sea levels, particularly with the ongoing impact of climate change. Flooding is one of the most common and impactful hazards. The area's wetlands and lack of well-defined drainage system make it prone to flash floods, especially when heavy rains run down from the high country. Based on the current available data, Yarrabah is officially designated as a high coastal flood hazard zone with potentially damaging coastal flooding events anticipated at least once every decade. Yarrabah is also exposed to a range of other natural disasters such as flooding, cyclones, wildfire, and severe storms. Let's look at the timeline highlighting the recurring impact of flooding events in Yarrabah from 2008 to 2025. In 2008, monsoon rains caused major road damages, costing over $2.12 million in repairs. Tropical cyclone Ita in 2014 and North Queensland flooding in 2018 further exposed the community to intense rainfall. From December 2022 to April 2023, prolonged flooding led to widespread home damage, loss of life, and community trauma. This was followed by Tropical Cyclone Jasper in December 2023 and the 2025 Queensland floods, which continued from January to February, underscoring Yarrabah's ongoing vulnerability to severe weather. Let's analyze the site with various concerns causing the disaster. Yarrabah has a tropical climate with hot, wet summers and cool, dry winters. Most rainfall occurs between October and March, increasing flood and cyclone risk. The nearest weather station at Cairns Airport records an annual average of 1992 mm. Heavy rain during this month sparks an increase in flood, especially in low-lying coastal areas, affecting roads, homes, and infrastructure. Understanding these patterns is vital for planning resilient infrastructure and emergency responses. Yarrabah is a low-lying coastal community in Queensland with most homes under 5 meters above sea level, making it highly vulnerable to cyclonic flooding, storm surge, and sea level rise. Climate change increases this risk, especially during severe weather. The landscape features steep hills, flood-prone areas, and protected coastal zones holding natural, cultural, and economic value for the Aboriginal community. Understanding these landforms is crucial for creating effective, resilient emergency responses and infrastructure. Another major challenge in Yarrabah is the only main access road, Back Beach Road, which also acts as the emergency evacuation route. The community also has a heliport with limited access during flood. Highlighting the needs for environmental and cultural sensitivity, the image of the Aboriginal men in the water serve as a visual representation of the community's connection to their land and culture.
Let's talk about the key issues during the emergency. About language and communication. Yarrabah is home for the community of Gungungji people who speak Gungay. During this emergency situation, English is general language to create emergency alerts. In places like this, we'll respond more efficiently when information is delivered by trusted local voices rather than external authorities. They use radio alerts or SMS warnings, but the notification often didn't reach everyone, either due to the language barrier or lack of digital access. So language barrier can lead to inappropriate evacuation process. Community trust is important, and the multilingual signage can affect the emergency response. About housing infrastructure. The housing crisis is another challenge for Yarrabah, with many homes experiencing overcrowding, weak structures, and inadequate resistance to floods and cyclones. Overcrowded housings also impact a serious health psychological and physically. So danger is increasing during evacuation because of overcrowding and can worsen the post-flood recovery. Many houses are located in low-lying and or coastal zones that will make them easier contacted with risk. Slow repair cycles of the house and the infrastructure can reinforce long-term displacement. About the isolation and access. Buddhabado Road is one of the key links for residents of the community for access. It was during the 2019 flood, Buddhabado Road was washed away and causing disruption for the emergency response to send help across the community. So the issue cut off important access. This is not alternate evacuation and supply route exist. Possibility of delayed response. So towards this situation, the government gave acts and supported in education, land care and environment, employment, legal police and justice, art and culture, sports and recreation, works and infrastructure.
People of the Yarrabah is the heart of the Yarrabah itself, and this is the inhabitant analysis that we found about them. We are all Yarrabah people and we all belong here. Our strength is cultural and historical. From the first time I read this statement from the written story, this quote really stood out to me, and it reflects how much pride and belonging is felt in the community that connected their culture, belief, and their historical. From our research, we focus on a few key aspects that we found as the Yarrabah community identity: the people, language, songline, their dances, and art space.
My language name is Jijenji, and I'm a Gunganji man from this beautiful place called Yarrabah. Happily now on country as a qualified teacher, working in both the primary school. I was interested in bringing first language, trying about bringing that back. When I started out, I remember it was only 250, 300 words. Let's talk about this. We go on this big yarn about what does one word could mean. This one word could have a connection to country that's held within our elders. Seeing our kids now relearn our language is a very special thing. Graduating today, it's huge. It's a huge step. And it's not just for me, it's for my people.
And now we talk about the people and language of Yarrabah. Yarrabah is home to Gunganji and Hidinji people who speak Gungai and Hidinji language, and belief system is Baluru as their ancestor spirits. And then from this video really shows that language is not just something from the past, but it is how the way the community connect with their elders. Since we cannot get in touch directly to the community, but we still want to learn and know more about them through their language, so we discovered the research and this dictionary from the State Library of New South Wales about the Gungai language. And then we also found another resource that found someone who have related family with Gunganji people who also made a word list that they use daily. One of my favorite words was mantha, means bread, and biba biba, which means book. I like it because I often read books while eating a bread. To me, learning or knowing just a few words made this project more personal for us. It reminded me that language is also a living part of the design itself. Dance and cultural expressions. This is the Yidinji dance. The Yidinji dance is a vibrant cultural expression of the Yidinji people, and it's a powerful way to share stories, beliefs, and connections. We also explore that it's just not a performance, it's not only a performance arts, it's a way of storytelling and add values through movement and music from them to their natural.
So the next one is songlines. Songlines are an important Aboriginal oral tradition using songs and stories to pass cultural knowledge about the land and sea, including the area between Yarrabah and Green Island. And then we talk about art museum. Yarrabah's Manmuni Museum, established in 2002, celebrates this heritage by showcasing authentic handmade artworks. The Yarrabah Aboriginal Share Council serve as the local governing body for the Yarrabah community, positioned on the traditional lands of the Gunganji and Yidinji peoples. The council's identity is deeply rooted in the strength, resilience, and cultural heritage of its people, reflecting a commitment to unity, empowerment, and community-led progress. Yarrabah, like many Aboriginal communities, faces ongoing challenges such as chronic community issue, community engagement,
Housing, healthcare, education, community safety, and infrastructure. About healthcare, limited access to healthcare and the impact of overcrowding on health outcomes are major concerns. About education, the education ranking in the area was low. About infrastructure, you can see the diagram of amenities is very convenient in Yarrabah.
The next one is the community needs overview. From various sources, we learned that there are a few needs of Yarrabah community. The first one is the housing, includes the needs of the repairs and maintenance. Number 2, infrastructure. The next one is the community safety concern, and the last one is the high unemployment for the economic development. The next community needs is the age groups and different needs. The first one is the children's and adolescents, from 0 until 18 years old. Need to continue to provide them with educational, need-safe, and interactive design spaces. The next one is for adults. It's from 19 until 60 years old. After encountering a natural disaster, they may experience emotional reactions and needs a psychological counseling, and is very necessary for this age. The next one is elders, is over 60 years old. They having a decreased mobility and high health support is very needed for this type of age group. And the next one is for people with special needs, including people with limited mobility, hearing, and vision impairments.
Let's talk about flora and fauna. Intertidal mangrove forests, salt marshes, and wetlands cover approximately 152 hectares of Yarrabah. About 340 animal species are recorded in wetlands, and over 1,000 total wildlife species in the Yarrabah area. And the sea turtles and the dugong's use nearby waters and nesting sites.
To engage respectfully and effectively with Yarrabah, it is essential to adopt approaches that honor its unique social and cultural context. In this project, we apply co-design framework, Yarning method, and deep listening theory as our core approaches. Deep listening theory emphasizes slowing down, being present, and engaging deeply with people, place, and silence through heart, mind, and body. It teaches patience, allowing meaning to emerge naturally without rushing. This approach suits Yarrabah, a community shaped by resilience, cultural knowledge, and history. The co-design framework emphasizes sharing power, prioritizing relationships, and using participatory methods to keep community voices central in the design process. It builds capacity to foster meaningful collaboration, which is vital for Yarrabah's culturally respectful partnership that acknowledge intergenerational trauma. Yarning is a method rooted in deep listening and respect, encouraging designers to be patient and attentive with heart, mind, and body. It involves listening to people, country, and silence, honoring the time spent in these spaces. Yarning fosters informal conversation, storytelling that builds equal, non-hierarchical relationships between designers and community members. Through yarning, designers connect with traditional knowledge, learn about past floods and community responses, and collaboratively imagine a stronger, more resilient future for Yarrabah.
Let's talk about the solution directions. The reason I choose this shelter as precedent is because the shelter is built in an area prone to flooding. The floor is raised to reduce the impact of flooding, and also it used local material bamboo, and the high ceiling is also to provide better ventilations. Traditional sandbags have problems such as low water absorption, low drainage efficiency, and difficult in transportation. To improve these situations, we improve the material, water absorption, and drainage structure of the sandbags so that the polluted flood water can be transformed into clean water resources through the drainage system of the sandbags. The last slide is acknowledgement and group reflection. Through the process of researching, listening, and learning, we have come to better understanding not only the challenge faced by the Yarrabah community, particularly in times of crisis such as floods, but also the extraordinary strength, resilience, and cultural wisdom that shape their response. This work is grounded in a growing awareness and appreciation of Aboriginal ways of knowing, being, and doing. From this assessment, we acknowledge that true understanding comes from relationship, not just research, but we remain guided by the values of respect and shared learning as we continue to support and advocate for community-led solutions. And that's all. Thank you.